How about some hot comic books?
You got it. The top 10 comic books based off of cover prices data, coverprice.com. They don't pay us to say this, but they are amazing. They follow the data. They get into it, and it's not speculation. It's based off of the actual sales data from eBay and other sites on the top 10 hottest comic books of the week. This comes out on Tuesday, this list. We are a Friday show, so we do things a little bit differently. We'll give you the top 10 hottest comics, but Chris dives in and gets into the nitty-gritty on the 3 that he thinks are the most interesting. So here we go. I'm going to name off the top 10 comic books of this week. They are Ultimate Fallout 4. That is just not leaving the top 10, which is a good thing. Venom 26, the first appearance of Virus. Number 8 is Oblivion Song. Number 1. Number 7 is Venom. Number 25, the second print. That is a crazy wraparound cover. Number 6 is Thor. Number 5. Number 5 is Strange Academy number 1. Number 4 is Wonder Woman 759, first appearance of Liar, the Jim Lee cover. Number 3 is Wonder Woman 759, cover A. Number 2 is Captain Marvel 18, the first appearance of Lauri-Ell, which is Captain Marvel's sister, and that's the Mora cover. And number 1 is Captain Marvel number 18, the cover A. Chris, a lot we could talk about here, but there are 3 that you specifically want to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
well, I will give a big shout out to my guy Miles Morales. Every week he's up there, I'm just going to shout him out. I'm not picking him as my top 3, but it's because it's consistent every single week. He's still up there, so just a big shout out to Miles. But let's get into the top 3.
Before we do,
yes,
Sid Collector.
Yes,
favorite part of the show. He loves
nice.
the top 10. Thank you, Sid Collector. We really appreciate that. But here we go. Chris is going to dive right into it.
Okay. This is a lovely week. Very, very well. Let's just start. First off, my number 3 pick is Oblivion Song number 1, an Image number 1 book, another independent book, and I love seeing independent books in the top 10s. So I picked this book because of the success of an indie level, but also because here we are in another situation where you have another independent that's getting traction due to movie hype. So Skybound founder Robert Kirkland recently did confirm that this movie, which was announced sometime past, is still in development with Universal Pictures. So that is a good sign. Kirkland did go on to say that they felt like the initial announcement of this going into production was probably too premature. But again, just like we talked about Ryan Reynolds talking about what's going on with Deadpool, there's so much stuff that is just, we don't know. Everything is put on pause. That's kind of what's going on with this, but there is no stopping this film from being made. And, you know, we've seen the success of The Walking Dead. Yeah, let's keep following this, because this is another one of those books that if it pans out, you know, Image has just got another one in the books.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Kirkman has a great track record. Obviously, Walking Dead was just a phenomenon. Outcast didn't do as well, but we have Invincible coming up too. Again, it's a testament to how strong the market is when you see these independents on here. Isaac Maynard, always great to see some independent books on that top 10 list. And Chris and I, Chris, I'm speaking for you because we talk about it all the time. We can't agree more. We absolutely can't agree more. And there's been a nice selection, a nice representation of that.
Absolutely. All right, let's go into number 2 here. Number 2 is Wonder Woman number 759. And let me tell you a little bit why I like the fact that this book is on here. 1, I like that we have cover A and the cover B variant in a top 10. Brand new book. It is selling off the shelves. Now, there is some speculation. This is the first appearance of a new character, new villain called Liar. DC has confirmed that this issue is the first appearance. This individual is actually a character named Emma that lives next door to Diana in her apartment complex. Now, what I like about this too is that there wasn't the huge hype, you know, speculatory hype before the release, like say Punchline or even what's been going on with Virus with Marvel, and people are still buying the book. So I really like that. Now, this is a run that I collect. I'm not up to date on my reading of a Wonder Woman, I will say. But look, I don't know too much about this character. This could be a character that, just ends up not panning out, not being anything extreme. But regardless, people are still getting their hands on both covers. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp with you. I don't read this series specifically, but what I've read about it, Liar Liar, is people are hyping it up as potentially like another Punchline situation. I mean, everybody went crazy for Punchline, so we'll see. I feel like this is a bit more under the radar, though. Wouldn't you, isn't that the case? Wouldn't that be the case?
Yeah, but look, this also proves that people are still out there doing their research, and they're picking it up.
Isaac brings up an interesting point too. Very rarely do you ever see any Silver Age or Bronze Age books on the top 10 list. That's true. But think about that. Like, those are the ones that people are holding on to and not selling as much. These are brand new books with insane print runs compared to what they did back then. So I think there's a reason for that. However, you do start to see some of these books creep into the top 10 based on any sort of media or production. So very good point, though, Isaac Maynard.
What's interesting before we go into our number one, too, is to that point, because I was following before we even started doing the show. It's really interesting. We've seen a larger trend over the last 3 months or so with modern books, because and there's been a few. We had the first appearance of Firestar, whatnot, Spider-Man and his amazing friends. There's been some Bronze Age books for sure that have been on this list a couple of times, but even in the few weeks before we started our show, when I was following the trends, there was a few scattered up there. So there's been a lot going on, I feel, with the effect of COVID, where just how we shop may be a little different, and maybe people have more time on their hands to read current books, to read the previews, and to sit online and go onto the websites and YouTube and say, okay, what's the hype? Oh, there's this Punchline, there's virus, there's this. And then there's just more people are getting hit with that instantaneous information and going out and buying it. So I do feel it's probably a little more teetered to the modern books right now, just because of the climate that we're in.
Yep. People are they're just thirsty for new content. But speaking of new content, we have our number one that you want to talk about.
Yes. All right, number one. Similar situation here to our number two with the Wonder Woman. This is Captain Marvel, number 18. Again, the A cover and the B cover variant, both in number one and number two. This is the first appearance of Lauri-Ell, who is the Kree half sister of Carol Danvers. This is a big something that's going to impact Carol Danvers big within the Empire storyline. Now, here's why I like this. Again, you got speculation on this book for a new character, but Captain Marvel herself, Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel, has gotten so much pushback for the last, 8-9 years now, ever since Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, took the mantle of Captain Marvel. When she originally got her own series back in 2012, I believe, they cut her hair, they gave her the short haircut, they got rid of the very sexualized, revealing uniform and put her in more of a tactical, full body uniform. And immediately the criticism came. She was being called Carl Manverse, just a lot of hate towards the character. And then, of course, we all saw what happened with the film that ended up being an amazing billion-dollar success. But, so much hate for that film, so much hate for the actress, Brie Larson, playing the role of the film, but yet, it still made money at the box office. It still was a success. Now, on top of this, though, the new character, Lauri-Ell, is another character that doesn't have that, sex appeal that you would think would come with the new female character. This character is very, very hulking. We saw the pushback when She-Hulk was changed from being, yes, a Hulk creature that was more of an Amazonian-looking creature with very feminine physique and features, to being this more brooding, hulking, drawn character. This character reminds me very much of that form of She-Hulk. And look, this book is still selling. So that either tells me that, look, people are realizing now that, women don't have to always be over sexualized. We can have women be portrayed in different contexts and different personalities, and we could still have a good comic with good characters and good stories. Or it could also say that, look, even though there's those that want to complain about everything, uh, they seem loud at sometimes, but sometimes they are the small minority and not the majority. Sometimes they just have that platform to where their voices are heard, extremely loudly. But I just like that people are going and demanding this book, regardless of all those issues that I brought up.
I'm gonna flat out say it, man. I don't understand the hatred towards this character. I think people have a problem with a strong, like, or a strong female leadership presence. That could be a hot take. I don't know, but I don't understand. She's a great character. She's one that honestly I want my daughter to get into, and she already has. My daughter's 4 years old. She's a strong female presence. That's the one I want my daughter to be like. That person is cool. She's a pilot. She could do anything
Right.
she wants, kind of a thing. And that's the one that I've literally been kind of getting her acquainted with, and she's enjoying every minute of it. And like, I just don't understand the hatred towards this character.
Yeah, and hey, to your point, there's very, I know Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers is Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel, is a cosmic being, right? I mean, she has cosmic powers, but she's also very grounded. I mean, she is a pilot, in the armed forces, and that brings this very realism of what it means to be a strong woman in real life and to be able to be in that position to, say, fight for your country or take pride in some sort of patriotism. And I think that is absolutely key. And yeah, I mean, look, we once again when we talk about representation, there's something there for everyone. I feel, and I think what they're doing with this character has been great. But I will say, hey, the only hate I have for Captain Marvel is when Civil War II happened. I was Team Tony, Team Iron Man, all the way, even though in the first Civil War, I was Team Cap because I was not agreeing with Captain Marvel's stance. I was like, no, girl, you are tripping. But at the end of it, I was like, I think she learned her lesson and she came out of that a better leader. But obviously, that's just me geeking out on the content itself.
No, absolutely, absolutely. But again, I'm happy to see, especially the top 4 spots are dominated by females. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. Yes. Very good
same
point.
book, different covers. We have not seen that at all with any type of superhero or what have you. So that is quite impressive. But that is also our top 10 hottest comics of the week from Cover Price. We will be back again doing that next week.